Just a quick note before this free video.
Here on
if
Wrestling Observer Live, we are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Tuesday here on the show, and you know what that means? We got a lot to talk about today. Last night was Monday Night Raw. We're on the road to SummerSlam. We got a lot of matches for SummerSlam. We still don't officially know what is taking place on each night, but it does appear that Gunther CM Punk is the main event of night 1. John Cena and Cody Rhodes is the main event of night 2, and the rest will be split as they're split. So we'll talk about Raw, we'll talk about SummerSlam, we'll talk about NXT, which is coming up tonight. And, of course, NXT was all over the TNA pay-per-view, and Impact is coming Thursday, and they've just announced that new double champion, JC Jane, has been added to Thursday's show. So, we'll give you that. We got we got 2 matches for Dynamite, nothing else. And then, of course, all of the rest of the news. We got updates on Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and Devon Dudley, and a lot to talk about. It's going to be your Wrestling OnlyFans Live today as we talk about how much money these women are making. Not the exact numbers, but we'll get into that. Friday night's Smackdown, the update on the G1, of course, the Raw report later on, and more. Lance Storm will be joining us for at least a portion of the show today. He might have to cut out early, but he is going to be here for the beginning of the show. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4WOnline@gmail.com. F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. $10 cameos, everybody. At Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment to kick it off, everybody. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Okay, can everyone hear it?
Yeah.
There's a mystery bell at Granny's house. She can't hear it. Take off your headphones for a second.
I had them on wrong anyway.
Okay.
I can't get them on right. What?
Take them off and listen.
You have in your elbow?
Is the fan on a computer?
Nothing.
All right. Well, this is going to be an exciting show.
Gonna have bells ringing through the whole thing, and it's every week. It's got to be me.
Do you have a neighbor that's an ice cream man
No,
practicing out there?
I got a neighbor that smokes marijuana.
I'm sure you do. I guess
Whatever that noise is, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, dude.
Brian, do you want me to get off here and go see if open the door and see if there's anything out there?
You think something's out the front door?
Is he ringing the bell the entire time?
Yeah. No, Granny, you don't
Let me in! Let me in!
It's fine. It's fine.
If it's death, don't open the door.
Thank you, Craig. This person thinks it's a stove timer.
Have you burned the roast?
No, I don't have a stove. You want me to just get off here?
No. We're going to barrel through it.
I'd love it.
You're not even doing anything. Granny, Nick says that you've got an old-fashioned analog alarm clock in Terry's bedroom.
I don't know. I got a new alarm clock. Battery operated. Is that what she meant?
Well, whatever it is, it's going haywire right now.
Oh, it might be my alarm.
Do you think?
But it's way back in the bedroom.
Don't worry about it right now. But when the show's over, you might want to go...
That's what it is.
Okay.
Solve the mystery.
Is there a reason you didn't turn it off when it started ringing?
Well, I wasn't in there. I didn't.
Duh.
I took a nap. I took a nap and set the alarm. I thought I shut it off, but I probably didn't.
No.
You probably didn't.
That's life.
I would say with a good deal of certainty that you didn't turn it off.
Brian, that's life around here.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I do the show with Dave, too.
Say,
Hear all sorts of things in the background.
did I do that? You know,
Yeah, you did do that.
or I thought I did that, but I didn't.
In there.
I wake up and I see lights on, and I say, I didn't turn those lights on. What's going on?
Maybe the place is haunted.
Could be.
Okay.
It's my brain that's haunted.
Well, I hope not. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm is joining us here today. I can't believe you're on the show after I buried some of that stuff on the TNA pay-per-view. I thought our friendship was irreparably shattered.
Yes, our friendship is based on burying each other. And actually, you didn't even bury it. You didn't like the finish, which is your prerogative.
The match itself was fine. Finish I was astounded by. And I really did not like the indie match. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, man. Best to do it when you're not going to be on the show for a while.
Well, it was a busy night. I seldom get to see much of the show, but the crowd was amazing, and the bits I did see of the show I thought were quite good, and I was very relieved that AJ Francis didn't break both his legs.
Yeah, what's funny is there's a lot of people that they think they know who I'm friends with in wrestling based on me liking the stuff that they do or putting over the stuff they do all the time. Guys, you know nothing about friendship. Like, it's more likely my best friend is Indy Hartwell than anybody else. I mean, all right. Ozzy passed away.
Yes, he did.
And he's got some wrestling tie-ins. Not the least of which is his old reality show was Buddy Wayne's favorite show. And I loved it as well. I watch that show every week, but you had some similarities you noticed and some notes about what he'd done in wrestling, Lance.
Well, yeah, I found it very striking that much like Sabu, he passed away mere weeks after his final performance. But as a wrestling fan when I was in high school, probably my two favorite tag teams as a fan of all time were the Road Warriors and the British Bulldogs. And obviously, Iron Man was the Road Warriors theme song for much of their career, which was I guess a Black Sabbath hit, but Ozzy nonetheless. And Ozzy was at ringside at WrestleMania 2 when the British Bulldogs defeated the Dream Team and won the WWF Tag Team titles. So he has connections to my two favorite tag teams as a wrestling fan, and the peck-popping spot with Chris Masters on Monday Night Raw is one of the best wrestling clips you will see recycled on the internet. I hope it makes a comeback all over social media today because it's hilarious, and watching Ozzy and his wife just die laughing is quite a great moment. So condolences to his family and obviously all his fans and friends.
You know, this is a weird tie-in, but I'm gonna tie it in here because Mr. Smith here on the Twitch chat says Meet the Osbournes was the first celeb family life reality show. And of course, now there's millions of them. And the tie-in is, you know, the thing with reality shows is, yeah, there's some reality in there, but like they're just a big gimmick as anything else, you know. There's you talk to anybody who's been on a reality show and it's not reality, okay? But I do bring it up because WWE's got that WWE Unreal coming up, and they've been plugging it for a while, and the story is that this will be the real behind the scenes. You'll see them putting together the road to WrestleMania and dealing with issues that come up, and you'll just get a glimpse behind the curtain, and it's going to be exposing the business and this and that. And I was kind of interested to see the show. I was a little bit skeptical, but I thought, maybe they'll have this or that. It'll be interesting to at least a degree. And then, my God, they had a commercial for it on Raw last night. And someone on the board couldn't figure out why we were so astounded. And I couldn't figure out how they couldn't figure it out. This is supposed to be a real-life look behind the curtain. And the clip they used was Triple H telling I Show Speed, you're in the Rumble, and acting like it was a shoot. I could not believe my eyes. I could not believe my eyes. I was like, oh my God, that's what this show is? Like, now I don't even want to watch it. That has to be one of the worst commercials I've ever seen in my life, because it effectively made a show I was like thinking about watching. Now a show, I can't even imagine spending any time to watch this show. They just like revealed what it is. It's all fake. So I was astounded at the reality show commercial they aired on Raw last night.
For me, any television show is designed to draw viewers and make money. And the easiest way to do that is to have at least some degree of it controlled and faked to sensationalize. So there's not a whole lot of anything on television I consider 100% real.
God. What did you think of Slammiversary?
Again, what I saw of it was good, but I saw very little.
Can you reveal what you were in charge of?
I don't know if the office cares or not. I know Scott didn't want it getting out. I think it was just an effort to not take the attention away from talent. So I will not, unless I hear otherwise. But atmosphere at the building was incredible. Like, it was amazing, the amount of people and the reactions that they were getting, and just the excitement, too, from everyone involved in the company for reaching the heights we have. It wasn't that long ago that guys were wrestling in empty studios in Nashville during the pandemic. So getting to 76, whatever the number is that they put out there, is a hell of an accomplishment.
All right, we got a couple of notes here before we get going. Ric Flair announced on Tuesday he is now cancer-free. And, I talked about this a few days ago, about how the thing with skin cancer, and this is not something I'm just saying, but it's like, this is a personal anecdote. Not me specifically, but a family member. It's like if there's two different types of skin cancer, but, the most common kind, like if you get in there and get it taken care of, it's like, I don't want to say it's nothing, but when the person I know went in, the doctor literally said, this is nothing. We're going to chop it out and you're fine. And this was not something that they had just discovered. It had been there for 8 years. Okay? That's why I don't want to say this person's name. But anyway, Flair went in and they chopped it out. And he is now cancer-free. So, you got to take care of yourself, obviously. Like, look around. If you got weird stuff on you, go in. Do not let it get really weird and more weird for 8 years. But, get it taken care of, and they can take care of it. So that's very good news. I don't want to say a lot about Hulk Hogan, but, I mentioned something the other day about how Bubba the Love Sponge is basically claiming that Hulk Hogan is near death, okay? Hogan family is like, everything's totally fine. And I made a comment about how there really wasn't any Hogan stuff on social media. And somebody mentioned, actually, he's been putting a lot of stuff on social media. And I believe that a lot of the stuff that is going up on social media with Hulk Hogan is not recent. And I was given the impression that Hulk Hogan is not fine. So if you're a person that likes Hulk Hogan and wants to wish him the best, obviously, I think that'd be a good thing. I was told it is not like what Bubba has said. Like Bubba has the stuff that Bubba has said. I've been kind of told it's not that bad, but I've also been told it's not this. Hey, everything's great. He's having some real issues. So Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, both dealing with a lot of stuff right now. And when we come back from the break, we'll talk about Devon Dudley, because I guess Devon's going to be in that match. Team 3D against the Hardys. The last great tag team match of all time. I'll go to commercial, Lance. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Well, we reviewed Smackdown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get Smackdown. You're very, just, you know how you are. Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
That's your impression of me?
Yeah, that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch the Smackdown main event.
I watched the entire show.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board, and I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter,
You read my emails?
I do go on
the
Twitter.
Text messages? I mean...
Do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
yes.
You would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In world history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. And when I say dog,
barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought it down for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog,
Listen.
like you put your hand out and the dog like puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, hoppa! Like, what? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived
His dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted like a, just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. I know you don't want to give specific Lance about what matches you agented, but can you at least admit that you were the guy that told Bubba to break in the middle of his promo to alert the world that, in fact, the Road Warriors were the best tag team of all time?
I did not have anything to do with Bubba's promo.
Right.
I did find that odd, but he's contended that forever, and in a lot of ways, I think he's right. I'm someone who thinks... Well, again, I think I'm not one that considers the greatest the one that garners the most star ratings. I consider those that are the biggest stars, draw the most money, change the business, and so forth. And I think the Road Warriors are a big part of that. One of the more copied teams of all time. They were also who got me into wrestling, so it's a little bit different.
Yes, they're your ultimate warrior. Well, Devon does insist, apparently, that he is doing this match and it's going to be his last one. Bound for Glory. It'll be the Hardys and Team 3D in his final match of all time and the final great tag team match of all time. So he suffered a stroke in 2020, underwent spinal surgery in 2022.
Jeez.
But he says he is now doing DDP yoga. He's lost 85 pounds, focusing on his diet and feeling good physically. He said he is not worried about getting injured, returning to the ring. He said, is there moments where I feel like if I get back in the ring, I'm going to get hurt? No, I don't. I have the wrestling school in Winter Park, Florida, which is doing extremely well. The great thing about that is I roll around with some of the guys sometimes in the ring. Every once in a while I take bumps. I feel good when I'm in there. There's no hesitation in how I think or feel about what I can do in that ring now. So he said, at 50 years old, I can't believe he's my age. Like, how? At 50 years old, I don't want to go in there and do it, like I said, until I'm 70 and 80. That's not going to happen. If we were to do one more match, it would be the last one. That would be it. He said this before the Slammiversary angle. There's no one more. Can you come back one more time? One more time? No, because I tell this to everybody when they ask. If I go, every time I do one more time, that one more time is over. Let a year go by. No, we can't stop. So basically, he's saying this is it. This is it. He also said, this was before they did the angle, if I was to do anything in the ring again, it would have to be with Matt and Jeff. And he says, I would say Edge and Christian too, but they're in the other organization. I don't think that would ever happen. He said when the opportunity came, when Edge left WWE, went to AEW, had Christian and Edge there, and then the Hardys were there, and it was like, we were wondering why Tony, who's a huge fan of the business, why wouldn't he take the opportunity to be the one to put these three teams together and do that, but he never did. The opportunity is lost. So Bound for Glory, it is going to be Bubba/Bully Ray and Devon against the Hardys in the last great tag team match of all time, October 12th at the Tsonga Center, which I can't believe is only 3 months away, but it is. So there you go.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start campaigning to see if we can suck up the WWE and allow them to give us permission to use the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys, but they don't seem to do that, so it'll be Team 3D versus the Hardys.
I don't know why they don't. You guys are working together, basically.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, in my opinion, but maybe because they won't own the footage, so they don't want it to be allowed in perpetuity. Is that the right word?
Maybe you can make a deal where you say, you let us use the name and you can have the footage.
Who knows? Maybe they just want to be more authentic to what their TNA past is, and that's Team 3D. Either way, it'll be a nostalgic big match.
All right, yesterday we mentioned Cora Jade taking the rest of the year off, and maybe forever. Wants to find out if she can get her love for wrestling back. And I don't know if we mentioned yesterday that she has an OnlyFans, but, you know, it was mentioned on Observer Radio. And in the last 24 hours, I've heard a lot about OnlyFans. So, she's making bank on this OnlyFans. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, a lot of people say a lot of stuff on the internet. I'm sure that what she wrote is definitely part of it. But, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but from what I've been told, my impression is that a lot of people say a lot of stupid stuff on the internet. And if she didn't have an OnlyFans, she'd probably still be taking bookings in wrestling. But when you're making this kind of money and people are saying stupid stuff on the internet, it's like, okay, bye. Like, see ya. She's doing quite well. And Mandy Rose, you know, she was making like preposterous money on OnlyFans. I don't know if she's not obviously making that kind of money still, but I mean, she was making like, you wouldn't even believe the kind of money when she first started. And it's always the biggest when you first start, apparently. But she's still doing very well. And I was told that, I don't know if this is what happened, but what I was told was Jordan Grace had to, stop her OnlyFans when she went to WWE. Someone could probably fill me in on more details. But when she had one, she was making, a ridiculous amount of money. And the other name we heard today was Lacey Evans, who also is apparently making a ridiculous amount of money on OnlyFans. So basically, if you see me open up an OnlyFans at any point, I got one foot out the door. Apparently, they are making a lot of money. So, there you go.
And they don't have to travel. They don't have to get hurt.
No traveling. Yeah, how do you like all this traveling, Lance?
Oh, my goodness. I got home yesterday, and I unpacked today while packing for tomorrow. The pay-per-view and the live Impact on Thursday. We're doing a live episode, so watch us live. Makes for bad travel. So I can see where these women would very much like to be 100% in control of their entire future. And if they can make money without all of the downside headaches of travel and injury. And,
good for them.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody yesterday. This doesn't have anything. This has to do with what we're talking about, but not OnlyFans. They weren't a big fan of old bully Bubba Ray, and it's kind of like, God, these guys just. It's nothing new, you know. This was just the latest. It's just like, man, these guys, they're 50, 51. You know, they just keep coming back. They just want to keep doing matches. They can't just let it go. And we got in this big conversation about this, and they were like, why? Why do they do this? Like, what's going on? And, you know, everyone has their own whatever, you know. Some people just, they like it, it's fun. You know, other people, whatever. But I just, you know, I'm 50 now, okay? And I remember, like, when I was young, I was like, man, well, what's you want to be like a wrestling superstar. You don't want a job. You want to be a wrestler and go on the road and be famous and make all this money and travel and everything like that. And I never was like, you know, I was never a WWE traveling big money superstar or anything like that. But, you know, as I hit like 50 now, it's just kind of like, I just want to stay home and barbecue. I can't think of anything better than to have a normal job and have nothing to do. Like, you know, everything just changes. But I think, but it changes for me, but for some people it doesn't. They just want to still live that life. And I, you know, when I was a kid, it was like, oh man, you know, this guy worked for WWF, but then he got fired, and now he's working at the post office. Oh man, sucks for that guy. You know, now I'm 50, and it's like, what could be better than like quitting wrestling and just working at the post office? Maybe not the post office. I hate the post office. But like, you know, move to Cannon Beach and work at like the used bookstore there and do nothing all day and sit around and read books and go to the beach. What a life! God. It's like an old story, Lance. You ever heard the story about the guy that, you know, he was in Mexico and he saw the guy playing the guitar on the side of the road? You ever heard this story?
No.
I'm going to make it up. So there's a guy, he goes to Mexico. You know, he's like a rich guy. And he sees this guy playing, he's like playing the guitar on the side of the road, you know, in Mexico. He's just playing his guitar. And he's, you know, whatever, having a nice time playing the guitar. And the rich guy goes, you know what? You're good at that guitar. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you to America, and then, like, I'm going to get you a recording contract. And you're going to, like, record these songs, and they're going to be great, and we're going to sell a lot of records. And then you're going to go on the road, and you're going to tour, and you're going to travel all over, and you're going to play your guitar and sing your songs, and we're going to do this for, like, 30 years. And, you know, by the time you're 60, you're going to have so much money, like, you can just go to Mexico and play your guitar on the side of the road, not worry about it. You can just play your guitar on the side of the road and not worry about it. Just skip all the rest of that crap. Right?
Yep. Like I said on the show Friday, find your happiness.
Yes.
Wherever it may be.
Yeah, quit making fun of people for not being in wrestling and doing an OnlyFans or getting out of wrestling and, you know, going to school and becoming a physical therapist. Good for them! Golly!
And I'd be willing
What's wrong with you people?
I'd be willing to bet most of the dudes burying or making fun of the women with their OnlyFans accounts are, in fact, the subscribers that are supporting these women with their OnlyFans accounts.
You think these nerds making fun of these women for having OnlyFans? Do you think if these nerds could actually get their own OnlyFans and make $600,000 a month, they'd be like, nah, I'd rather do whatever I'm doing now for whatever.
Yeah. If dudes in wrestling could make the kind of money the women do on OnlyFans, I think there'd be a lot of men in the with their what does Matt Riddle call his?
Bronly fans?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what he calls them, but that makes sense.
I think it's something like that anyway.
Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Chat GPT, Smackdown review starring Filthy Tom and Bryan Alvarez.
Welcome back, you miserable wretches, to another disaster of an episode of Figure 4 Daily, the only show on the internet that's guaranteed to make your brain rot faster than watching one of these Smackdown episodes. I'm your host, Filthy Tom Waller, joined by the man who somehow manages to be more useless than a rubber knife in a prison fight, Bryan Alvarez. What's up, Bryan?
Let's not pretend you're the shining star of this operation. You're like a broken pencil. Pointless. And I don't even know I'm still here with you. Anyway, let's get to this train wreck of a Smackdown. Spoiler alert, if you were expecting a wrestling show, you've come to the wrong place. It was like watching someone fall asleep in real time.
You should know all about falling asleep, Bryan, since you've been half dead for years now. If enthusiasm was an Olympic sport, you would get a participation medal for showing up, but still lose.
I could tell the crowd was hyped for Drew, and Nakamura's music is always a banger, but it was just nothing. It's like watching a 5-minute commercial for a product you don't even want to buy.
And I bet the only thing that was more uninspiring than this match was your entire existence. Let's move on before I fall asleep right here on this microphone.
Tom, you think because you're a former fighter, that makes you a wrestling expert? You'd probably lose in a match with a traffic cone. Look, Jade's a star, but Liv Morgan, she's the human version of a please wait screen.
Liv Morgan is about as useful as a sandbag at a swimming pool party, who's like trying to make a turkey sandwich with no bread.
It's like the crowd went from yay to who's got the remote. Can we change the channel?
Liv Morgan's biggest move is making the audience wish for better things. She's like the human version of a wet sock. Nobody wants it.
I get it, Tom. You don't like fun. You don't like energy. You don't like anything that's not just sitting on your couch in your pajamas complaining.
More of the same.
Oh, we're back to more of the same, huh? Just like your wrestling career. More of the same, but somehow still a disaster.
Well, that's it, folks. SmackDown 2025 was more like SmackDown 2005. Same old stuff, same old disappointments. Join us next time when we tear apart something else for your listening pleasure.
Yeah, next time, Tom, maybe you'll actually have some real wrestling to talk about instead of whatever disaster this was. Until then, just remember, don't listen to Tom and don't watch SmackDown unless you hate yourself.
Whatever. It's your funeral.
What? I've never been so embarrassed doing this show as I was for the last 5 minutes. God. Let's move on to another topic. Lance had to cut out, by the way. He'll be back here later on this week. Actually, I don't know if he will because he's got to travel. He's got a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, I'm going to do the Raw report here solo. And also a couple of G1 notes. Some of this is from Jeremy Finestone, speaking of Strong Style podcast on the Fight Game Network. And some of the more recent stuff is just off the front page. But night one, we had a big upset. Yoshihashi pinned Shingo in under 5 minutes. So that was the first big upset. Yuya Uemura and Bolton Oleg was said to be pretty good. The Takeshita Gabe Kidd match, where Gabe Kidd suffered a leg injury. Hyperextended his leg when Takeshita fell on it. Still, even despite getting injured early on, said to be highly recommended. Good match. And Ren Narita beating Zack Sabre Jr., said to be very good. And Tanahashi won the main event against Taichi with a high fly flow. Night 2, of course, Gabe Kidd had to announce that he was out, and so Zack Sabre Jr. won by forfeit. My guess is Zack was going to win that match anyway, because these things are intricately booked. And so I guess they're going to try and figure out if Gabe can continue. But, there's... I'll talk about that later. Also on the show, we had Taichi and Uemura was the main event. Taichi won that match. And there was also a mean guy match with Bolton Oleg and Ryohei Oiwa, if you like those kind of matches. So the update as of yesterday, we've got House of Torture going after Phantasmo's injured leg. So they're softening him up for the match with Narita on Wednesday. We had Great-O-Khan going after Takeshita with an Iron Claw after a match, and they will have their first singles match. Wednesday will be their first match they've ever had together, singles match. Great-O-Khan and Takeshita. Bolton Oleg and Tanahashi showed respect for each other after the match. And Yuya Uemura, I guess, where's the deal here? Yeah, Tsuji beat Yuya Uemura. They had a match in the G1 last year where Uemura tore his biceps, and he had to leave the entire tournament. And this year, Tsuji beat him with the Gene Blaster. So at this point, what's important? Who's in the lead? A block, we got 5 people tied for first place with 4 points. Evil, Bolton Oleg, who they're putting over strong in commentary. Oiwa, Yotasuji, and Taichi. And for the B block, we got 2 people in the lead with 4 points. Yoshihashi and Drilla Maloney. And pretty much everybody else has 2 points except Gabe Kidd and Shingo, who both have 0. So normally with the G1, my guess is Shingo's going to go very far. I don't know if he'll win, but, usually it's like, certain people do really well early and then they fall off. Other people don't do too well early and then they make the big comeback later on. And we'll have to see about Gabe Kidd and what ends up happening with him. Tournament continues Wednesday. Tonight is NXT, and we've got Undertaker appearing on the show to confront your current TNA champion, Trick Williams. Oba Femi will defend the NXT title against Inamura and Josh Briggs in a triple threat. Blake Monroe versus Ren Sinclair, and Ricky Saints versus Jasper Troy. This will be Blake Monroe's debut, and she'll be facing Ren Sinclair in Ren's home state of Texas, which ain't going to do her a bit of good. And then Dynamite, we have got Hangman Page against that little geek Wheeler Yuta, who, let me tell you, if he doesn't just destroy this guy, if they go 50-50, I just will not. I will not! He needs to destroy this guy. And then Timeless Tony Storm against Billy Starks, where Timeless has basically stated, if Billy Starks wins, I'm going to give her a title shot, which Athena was not happy with. All right. Raw report. Show had its ups and downs as always. It opened up with a CM Punk and Gunther promo, which I liked because, Punk came out, he was super over. He did his promo about wanting to win the title. And then Gunther came out, and it was just short and sweet. You can call yourself whatever you want, but the best in the world is the guy with the title. I got it. You ain't going to get it. You're never going to be the world champion. You will never be the best in the world. But hey, at least you'll have these fans cheering for you. A very good segment. We had Naomi making fun of Stephanie. This Naomi character is just awesome. Rusev and Sheamus 2 It's kind of very much like the first match. Like, the fans just don't care about Rusev. I mean, he's not out there every week. He's not in a, position strongly. It's just like, guy shows up every now and then, has a match. Then we see an interview, like pre-taped interview here and there. He's just not there enough. And they don't care about him right now. And there was no heat for this match until Sheamus fired up and did his big comeback. And the people were into the comeback. And then they had a finish that made no sense, which is the turnbuckle got exposed by Rusev. Sheamus reverses it. He rams Rusev's head into the exposed buckle. Rusev doesn't sell it and then gets a pipe, but Sheamus Brogue kicks him and pins him. I was like, what did we do the exposed buckle for if you're not going to sell it? What was the point? That was weird. El Grande Americano now speaks Spanish. He sure does. Dragon Lee shows up, says he's a phony, and it sets up something for later on. We had Lyra asking Bayley, why did you get us set up for a tag team match tonight? And Bayley says, oh, man, yeah, we're gonna become number one contenders. Wrestle at SummerSlam. Bayley goes, I already have a match at SummerSlam. Or Lyra does. And Bayley says, well, too bad. We're going to do this tonight. This was a wacky segment. Lyra was doing the NXT big time overacting, and it was wacky. We had the New Day, the Creeds, and the LWO in a number one contenders match. LWO won. They are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. They got the win after everybody and their mother ran in. El Grande, Dragon Lee, a bunch of guys. The most notable thing about this match is, I think most of you are well aware that this is fake. Okay? It's not real. I mean, stuff, there's real stuff, but, it's pretend. So, in other words, they did a spot here where Dragon Lee was on the apron, and he was going to do a springboard. And El Grande is supposed to yank him off the apron to the floor as he's jumping. So, the way this works is, Dragon Lee is supposed to go for the move. El Grande is supposed to just this is what you're really supposed to do in real life. Just grab his foot, not even hard, just grab his foot. And then the other guy pretends to be yanked off, okay? This El Grande, who, by the way, is a really good worker, so I couldn't figure out what was happening here. He grabbed Dragon's leg, and he yanked him so hard off the ropes. I thought he was going to yank his whole leg off, and it caused Dragon to just, fly into the ground. I thought he broke his leg. I mean, I was like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you yanking him so hard? But I guess Dragon was okay, but man, if you go back, just watch how hard he got yanked off these ropes. I was like, oh my God, you're going to kill this guy. So then, we had a show-long storyline of Dom being told, go get cleared, go get cleared. He has to get cleared for the match with AJ for the Intercontinental title. AJ's dressed up as, he's a valet, he's mopping the floors. He's just waiting for this guy to get cleared. Then, I will not go on and on about this, but oh my Lord in heaven, Grayson Waller shows up to talk to the New Day, and he just says, after 17 months, Austin Theory is injured, and A-Town Down is finished. I don't know what's going on with Austin Theory, but there is no way that this is the end after 17 months. No. It's just not possible. There has to be more to come. Do you understand? I don't care if it goes another year. I am not being strung along. Not that I cared, but you know what I'm saying? Not being strung along for 17 months for that to be the end. They need to do something. Becky did a promo. Lyra came out. They go back and forth. Long story short, I think they screwed up the actual stipulation and storyline. Becky basically said, if I beat you, you can never get a shot at this women's Intercontinental title ever again. I think she was supposed to say as long as I hold it, but she didn't. But I think that's the actual stip. And so Lyra said, all right, well, I want it to be no count out, no disqualification. And the fans' reaction was like, what? That's what you want? It was like that was a lame reaction to a very serious stipulation. So then we had Bayley and Lyra versus Roxanne and Raquel. A total... I mean, this match was ridiculous. You had two heels against Lyra, who is a babyface, and Bayley, who is a heel, but she's pretending to be a babyface. But she is a heel. So every time she's in the ring with Raquel and Roxanne, they cheer the heels so they can boo Bayley. But then, like, a bunch of people come out, Dom comes out, and then Raquel tries to boot Lyra, but she accidentally hits Dom, but it looks terrible. But then Dom acts like he's injured, and so Medical comes out, and medics end up being AJ, who in storyline is not allowed to touch Dom, but because he's pretending he's a medic, he starts violently giving him chest compressions. Dom starts to run away. Becky drags Lyra off the apron. Bayley is alone in the ring. And even though she's a heel pretending to be a babyface, well, now it's 2-on-1, and she starts making an actual babyface comeback. And then Raquel gets a blind tag and pins her. You have to watch this match. It is the weirdest match from start to finish I've seen in a long time. Like, not bad, not good, just everything about it is bizarre. And in the middle of it, Corey's chair just broke and he fell down. So that's a must-see. Dom ends up being sent to the doctor. The doctor comes out. AJ and Pierce want to know what's the update. The doctor goes, well, the evaluation's done, but I got to write it up. And they're like, well, is he cleared or not? The doctor's like, I got to write it up. And this is like a distraction for Dom to jump AJ. It was like this doctor's on the take. But then Pierce is like, Doc, help! He wants the doctor to now help AJ. Very wacky, lame payoff to weeks of storylines. Karrion Kross beats Sami Zayn when he hit him with a pipe behind the referee's back, thanks to Scarlett, who interfered right in front of the referee, and it was not a DQ. So Karrion got a win, and the people were behind him. We had dueling chants, like "Let's Go Karrion" chants, as they chanted "Let's Go Sammy." Stephanie and Io Sky, by far the best match on the show. Also by far the worst finish. They have this great match, and then Chelsea just runs in for the DQ. It was so horrible after such a great match. And then Naomi hits the ring, Rhea's music hits, place goes absolutely wild. These women were so over. Up to this point, the women were the most over performers on the show, and they had the best match. We'll talk about the main event segment after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. What was up with this week? Everyone thinking Monday was Tuesday.
Well, that was just
Everyone?
you, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it happened, it was like I got all these people that were messaging me going, my God, I thought it was Tuesday too today. It was like something happened with like the moon or something, and it caused everybody to think that Monday was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's like, God, am I losing it?
Yes.
Have you ever lost something and gave up all hope before finding it in an obvious place?
Yeah, my mind. I went to go make her the quesadilla, and I opened up the pantry, and there's no tortillas. I looked down on the ground, and there's the package that they used to be in, but there's no tortillas. So I call Hanale over, and she says, well, I didn't know how to close the bag.
Uh-oh.
So I put them all in a box of light bulbs. I said, why did you put them in a box with light bulbs? Swear to God, she goes, if that box is good enough for light bulbs, it's good enough for tortillas. And I said, no, that's not worse. I open the box, these tortillas are hard as a rock.
She is so your daughter.
Crumbling to dust.
It's insane.
God.
I lost my wallet at the Alamo Dome. The next day, I got a call from an usher that he found it. When I met up with him, everything was still in it. He refused to accept any money from me.
Wow.
Wow. I once lost my wallet in El Segundo.
Lantian says Big Dave's sanity.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he found it then. It's right there. It's never lost.
99% of the time, no matter where I park, I always know exactly where it is. But there's always that 1% of the time where is my car?
Dude.
and it's like in a bizarre place. Like, what was going on? All right, Granny, what do we got?
We need to buy you a machine that you speak into, and it converts your voice into text.
Oh, my God.
So you don't have to write it down anymore.
Absolutely not.
And then I think even better, we put that text into a text-to-voice app and have it read her.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. Stacy Keebler, her and Tori had a eggnog fight. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Looks my page.
Then he
I
looks
decided
completely depressed over there.
Take something from down below.
Mind your own business.
You're there like...
Ray Kinsella builds a baseball field
Field
on
of
his
Dreams. Kevin Costner.
Baseball.
James Earl Jones.
If you build it, they will come.
Iowa.
Oh, all right.
You didn't let me finish the question, Brian.
She's right.
Oh, she yells at me. So the main event segment was Heyman, Braun, Bronson, Roman Reigns, Big Schmaz. And when I did my report for my ex-subscribers and the subscribers on the front page of WrestlingObserver.com, my presumption, like my conclusion was, next week on Raw, we were going to get a tag match with Roman Reigns and Jay against Braun and Bronson. And I wrote that because for some reason I was under the impression that Roman Reigns was facing Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. But actually that match had never been announced or anything. So now I think that this main event segment was actually to set up a tag team match at SummerSlam. And honestly, you know, if you've been watching Braun Breaker from the beginning, I mean, it was very clear he was going to be the top guy in WWE before all that long. And it was also obvious that the big match was Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. And, you know, I don't think that doing this big first Roman Reigns Braun Breaker match with a 2-week build is the way to go. So I think that a tag match is a much better bet, and you can save Roman and Braun for later on down the road. So that was the main event. It was a good segment. Everybody was massively over, especially Roman and Jay. So that was at least a good ending to the show. So, you know, as usual, ups and downs for the Raw show. All right, we are out of time. I'm going to be back tomorrow on this show. I'll be back tonight with the Bryan and Vinny show. There was a mess-up. I won't throw anyone under the bus, but it was Vinny. He said that it was Mid-South Wrestling Season 6, Episode 34, I think he said. I actually think it's 33. Yes, it's Episode 33. Season 6, Episode 33, not 34. That's tonight on the Bryan and Vinny show. We review Mid-South every week. It's a lot of fun. Join us if you're a YouTube subscriber on the chat at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. And that's it, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.